Peggy 12.
Hi everyone, I'm Emric, Senior Community Developer at Ubisoft, here today with Martin Edmondson, which you may know as the creator and creative director of the Driver franchise. Hi Martin.
Hello there.
How are you?
Good. Bit of a whirlwind day, but good.
In the middle of the E3 craziness.
Yeah, first day.
So, Driver is back in what seems to be a high-speed face-off again. As the creator of the franchise, what would you say this new opus represents in the series?
Well, it's a mixture really of the old and the new. So when we set out to design Driver San Francisco, we deliberately went back very much to the roots of the original Driver game, and for that it meant the original Driver game being the ultimate sort of car chase, Hollywood car chase fantasy. We took certain elements of the original game, like Driver, the main character Tanner, the undercover cop that we met in the first game. We brought him back. He's a little older, obviously, and also his arch enemy from Driver 2, Charles Jericho. We brought him back, and that sets us up for a manhunt between these two characters. So that's similar. We also, from the raw gameplay side of things, we wanted to bring back a lot of what made the first game so unique and enjoyable, and that means principally the handling. So we spent a lot of time, built from the ground up, the handling to be new, but also to very much feel like the original game. And finally, the city, obviously San Francisco. It featured in the first game, Driver 1, and we've chosen this city for its, its iconic nature. Really, it's the most famous car chase city in the world, made famous obviously by the Bullet film for that, and also because it's an interesting city to drive around from a topography point of view and so on. It's a great city. So those are all the things that will be familiar to people, the whole car chase experience. And brought some new things into the mix, like the shift ability.
You mentioned the shift feature, which is a brand new game changer. So could you tell us how it works and what's the motivation from a
shift
game design perspective?
Yeah, it's the big game changer really for Driver San Francisco. And the feature comes about through Tanner. Early in the game, he's involved in a serious incident, and this puts him into a coma. And he doesn't realize he's in a coma. But from the player's point of view, what Tanner is seeing and Tanner thinks is happening in reality, but actually is in a coma at this point, is that he can be looking down on the city and he can see all the cars and all the people, and he can identify those cars. But more importantly than that, he can instantaneously, seamlessly shift into any vehicle and quickly shift from one vehicle to another vehicle. And when he shifts into these vehicles, he's then living the life of the person that was driving that vehicle. And this, at its simplest level, you can have a lot of fun with it for just swapping cars and just setting up crashes and things like that. But ultimately, it's something that is used for during the missions for tactics. So, for example, if you're in the middle of a chase, you can start bringing other vehicles into the chase, using them as tools effectively. So, for example, getting an 18-wheeler rig to try and help you by head-on smashing into the getaway guy, whilst also managing being in the cop cars.
That's a nice tactic. Tell us about the physics. We've seen some tremendous improvements over the past years. So what will Driver bring to the table?
Driver features our own physics engine. We built it from the ground up. We always have, actually. We've never used proprietary off-the-shelf physics engines or anything like that. So it's brand new. It's tailored specifically for what we need. Obviously, we get the handling out of it that we need, but it deals with all sorts of other things as well. The collisions, very realistic, and crumpling of the bodywork and damage to the vehicles. And it allows us to do some lovely little effects with the cars and the handling, and the way that when you're doing a burnout, the way it actually generates smoke all around the tyre and properly fills out the rear wheel arch. It's a very realistic effect. But when you're trying to mimic a car chase from a movie, it's important to get those little details right.
Okay, to finish, one question every fan of the franchise is probably wondering, will the game soundtrack equal the awesomeness of the previous Driver games?
Music has always been a big part of Driver, and we've always used it both in the game but also in the cutscenes and the storytelling. We edit cutscenes to music, much like a lot of movies do. And this is also a very important part of Driver San Francisco. We have around 60 or 70 licensed tracks, and the music choice is very interesting. We don't go for the music that you would expect everyone to have on their iPods, things that get a lot of radio play. It's quite obscure. Well, it's weird. It's like a familiar sound. You're not quite sure what it is. Can't quite put your finger on it, but there's definitely something familiar about it. So there are some classics in there, but they tend not to be the ones that get a lot of radio play. And we've got some new artists doing, and DJs so on, doing remixes and doing new material for us. So it's going to be it'll be a big part of the game.
I can't wait for that. So thank you, Martin, for your time, and thank you for this game. We're happy to see it back to life now.
So we.
We can't wait to play that. So if you want to know more about Driver, you can check out the website at driver-game.com and check out for more history info. Thank you, Martin.
No problem. Cheers.